Next question is question number 9, page 39 of the SAT practice test 1. And I'm gonna again add link of this questionnaire in the description. Okay, so this is your question for that number 9. All right, so it's a system of equations question. All right, it says here you're given two equations, and the question is what is the solution xy to the systems of equations? So if you have systems of equations, you have so many ways to solve it. You can either use elimination, you can use substitution. Okay, now if you have graphing substitution, if you have a graphing app like Desmos, you can do graphing. Okay, and of course, since this is a multiple choice, you can also just do a trial and error. Okay, you can do a trial and error by substituting all these solutions here, see which one satisfies both equations. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do systems, elimination because that seems easiest to me. All right, so when I eliminate, I want to be able to add them and eliminate one of the equations. So I could probably eliminate y. So be be mindful that your coefficients here are, or maybe just rewrite them such that the first equation has the x first and then the y, and do the same thing with the second equation so that it's easy for you to see what the coefficients of those variables are. So I'm gonna rewrite that here: 3x plus 4y equals negative 23, and then the other one I'm gonna rewrite as negative x plus 2y equals negative 19. Now, if I want to do elimination, if I want to eliminate x, I want them to have the same coefficient but opposite in sign so that I can add them. And that will, when you add two numbers like negative 4 plus 4, that will become 0, right? So effectively eliminating that number. So what can I do? Which one can you can either eliminate y or x, it's up to you. I'm gonna eliminate x, okay? Well, I already have a 3x here, so what I can do is I can multiply the second equation by positive 3. Because if I multiply it by positive 3, then this would become negative 3x, right? Okay, so the first one, I don't have to do anything, so I'm just going to copy that. 3x plus 4y equals negative 23. Now, this 3, I'm going to have to distribute across the board, so that will be negative 3x plus 6y equals negative 57. Okay, all right. So now that I have positive 3x and negative 3x as coefficients of my x, I can now add the two equations. So when I add 3x plus negative 3x, that will become 0. See, that's eliminated. That's why it's called elimination. You eliminate one of them. All right, I'm going to add this. So I'm going to have 10y equals, and I'm going to have 70 negative 80. So therefore, when I solve for y, I'm going to divide this one by 10. My y is negative 8. So that's my y. Well, this is a multiple choice, so only one of the choices have y as negative 8, this one right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double check it. Because what if I'm wrong here, right? But since this is a multiple choice, well, this is my best shot. So therefore, x has got to be 3. Well, let's check. I'm going to substitute 3 into the second equation or first equation. It doesn't really matter, okay? To see if it's gonna satisfy the equation. So from equation 1, okay, I'm gonna try equation 1. It says 3x plus 4y equals negative 23. Well, according to this choice, my x is 3. So that will be 3 times 3 plus 4 times my y is negative 8. Is this gonna be equal to negative 23? Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times negative 8 is negative 32 equals negative 23. Well, is 9 minus 32 equal to negative 23? Well, yes, it is. So this is negative 23 equals negative 23. Since it made that equation correct, most likely your x is really equal to 3 and your y is really equal to negative 8. Now, if you want to be really extra sure, then you can do the same process with equation 2. I'm going to substitute these two numbers again into this equation. So that will be 2y minus x equals negative 19. So 2 times my y is negative 8 minus my x is 3 equals negative 19. So 2 times negative 8 is negative 16 minus 3 equals negative 19. Well, negative 16 minus 3 is negative 19 equals negative 19. So therefore, it must be true. So therefore, the correct answer here will be that. Now, this is because I have a multiple choice. Now, what about if I did not have multiple choice? Then there's no way I could have done this step, right? So if you don't have multiple choice and you have solved for y, what you can do is just use this y to substitute in one of the equations. Okay, so I'm gonna try from equation 2. So I'm doing multiple ways to solve this, all right? So earlier you got your y. Well, there's only y that the only y that is negative 8 is this. So therefore I substituted 3 into the two equations and see if the equations are correct. Well, they are, so you know that's going to be the answer. Now, what about if this is also negative 8 and this is also negative 8? So you have three possible x's. So in that case, we will have to solve this one completely. Once you get your y, I'm going to choose equation 2. So I'm going to say 2 times negative 8 minus x equals negative 19. 2 times negative 8 is equal to negative 16 minus x equals negative 19. All right, and then I'm going to add 16 on both sides. So therefore, I'm going to have, okay, let's make this one bigger. So I'm going to have negative x equals negative 3. You divide both sides by negative 1 to solve for x. Therefore, your x is equal to 3, which is that. Okay, so your x is 3, your y is negative 8.